T.
It's your boy Ace, man.
And today we finna go beyond that bag. We have two very special guests. Actually, it's crazy because when we started this channel, these were the exact kind of people that we wanted. Young black entrepreneurs, change makers, people in the field, especially in Atlanta. So please, without further ado, introduce yourself. Tell them a little bit about what you do.
Absolutely. So my name is Jayshawn Matthews. I'm currently a sophomore at Morehouse College studying business marketing, and I'm also the founder and executive director of my own nonprofit called the Black Youth Empowerment Network. Our organization is basically based as a membership organization, and we're dedicated to providing opportunities, tools, and resources to black youth to bridge the opportunity gap, help them also overcome systematic barriers. And thus far, we've grown to over 533 members in 25 different states. We have 4 active chapters at Morehouse College, UGA, Alabama A&M, Savannah State University, and we're just exponentially growing. So yeah, that's a little bit of it, but we'll dive deeper more about the organization. I'm gonna pass to my co-founder, James.
Yeah, my name is James Brazel. I'm also a sophomore at Morehouse College, majoring in business administration with concentration in management. I'm also from Atlanta, Georgia, and we're gonna get to all the things.
Okay, cool. That's wonderful. I'm Ace. This is Kennedy, as y'all know. Of course, we're just blessed to have people like this on the show because, like Kennedy said, the exact kind of people that we want. Like, as I was going through your website, the Instagram for the nonprofit that y'all have, I was like, this is so dope. So just kind of tell us the story of how y'all started it. How did y'all get the idea for what you guys do?
Absolutely. So I originally started when I was just a senior in high school.
Yeah.
I faced a lot of racial disparities growing up in my community. I don't really like talking about it because I'm trying to not speak about it that often, but I'm going to share it for the podcast. So in 9th grade, I ended up failing 9th grade due to the pandemic, and my mom ended up moving me to a different school, to a different location, which was better and more affluent, had better resources. And at this new school, I started to receive opportunities that I didn't know existed. And as I'm receiving these opportunities and also becoming more academically well, I seen people in my community who I went to school with in middle school and also in 9th grade with either in debt or in jail. And it was like, what's going on? Like, why is this gap here? Why am I receiving all these opportunities just because I changed locations, whereas people who I grew up with are stuck in their environment, a product of their environment. So that was one of the reasons. The second reason is definitely I ran for senior class president. I didn't end up winning the election, unfortunately, but I didn't have that community that I wish I would have had to take me to victory, And then when I did lose the election, I didn't have that community to comfort me when I lost the election. Then the third reason was I wanted to start a black student union at this new predominantly white high school, and the administration ignored it. Everybody ignored it. So I was like, forget it. I'm not going to just let this deter me. I'm going to create my own thing, my own foundation, and then that's exactly what I did. I started BYEN when I was just a senior in high school, and at first it was a small movement, I guess, on 70 people in the big group chat. I just sent them opportunities and scholarships. We did one Zoom call about mental health. It was just a small scale thing. And then that's when I took a break. And then over the summer of 2024, I wanted to research things and do more programs on how to make my organization better and make it more formal. And then that's when I got to Morehouse College. And Morehouse being the institution that it is, it lit a fire underneath me. And then that's when I met James. And me and James had a deep conversation about what BYEN could be. And that plus my knowledge over the summer, we launched the organization January 2nd of 2025. And thus far, it's just been crazy growth, impacting many lives, incredible partnerships, changing people's perspective on life, giving them opportunities, and just building that community, and also mobilizing them to make change in their community as well. So all of that has happened, with our partnership together. So yeah, that's how I started it.
Yeah.
But to touch a little bit about how I met James, actually, it was actually the last week of school. Before we went on winter break, me and my friend went around the dorms or whatever, and we came across James' room, and we were talking about going to K-Pot, which is a Korean barbecue restaurant, and James overheard us, and he wanted to tag along, and we just clicked in at the restaurant, but then when we got back, we spoke hours and hours and hours about my vision with BYN, and he was like, bro, I want to help you with it. And I was like, okay, I don't know.
It was sleep on it.
I said sleep on it. I literally told him, I said sleep on it, James, because people, they talk to me all the time about how they want to help, but do you really want to help? It's a whole different process, a whole different work ethic to build something from the ground up, So I told James to sleep on it. The next morning, he texted me before I could text him. Before I could even wake up, he said, bro, I'm in, I want to do it. And then from there, and it's just been history ever since. So yeah.
Right, yeah, that's the story.
That's crazy.
That's what happened. Yeah.
That's so, and I don't think y'all were really listening. You said January, what year?
What for what?
That y'all like
Launched.
officially launched and started up.
Oh, so we restarted it in January 2nd, 2025, but I officially started January 2024.
Y'all stop right there.
Yeah.
What month is this?
January.
What year is this?
2026.
That is crazy. Y'all
Yeah.
take a look at their page, the amount of growth that they've had
Yeah.
in just a year. Of course, Ben started with that short period of time is amazing.
Yeah.
James, kudos to you. You know,
Yeah,
for stepping up, helping them
Yeah.
out. Definitely kudos to you. So I know that you said y'all had spoke for a few hours. When y'all were talking about this goal, about this concept, what were kind of things that you touched on that y'all knew you need to focus on? And also, why did y'all decide how to go the way about it you went?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. When we were speaking, are you talking about summertime or just?
I want to hear the whole nine. So, but of course, when you got on board, because that's when things changed.
Definitely when I finally got on the team, so I was just added to a group chat and then introduced to everybody and things like that, and it was different. I've definitely never been in a nonprofit where I've never been into like a e-board or anything like that, but I just wanted to help. I believed in his vision and in the mission of BYEN. And I was just willing to help, so I was really ready to do whatever I had to do. It was like a lot of bouncing back and forth, reaching out. I was first. Let's start there. I started as the director of partnerships and external affairs. So my job was to reach out, get partners, and do a lot of cold emailing and things like that. And really just getting to know everybody on the team as well, and like seeing that's kind of why I like started to just kind of do things, and he realized like, okay, I'm taking it very serious. I was also like kind of saying like, hey, let's do this, let's talk after the meetings and things like that, and we kind of started talking after every meeting and getting to know each other, and then going back feedback after feedback and growing and getting better as an organization and bringing on new members, and that was a whole nother thing. The teams, the amount of teams that we had to go through, that was another thing, but it was really just, I would say one thing about like Jay Sean is like whatever, any mistakes or problems or anything like that, he would take it and then just learn from it and we'll go from there. So like, and that's another thing I do as well. So that's kind of what we kind of got so close together on, and like realized like, okay, we're doing that because we were always, any problem, anything like that, like what can we do going to the next meeting or whatever. So it'll be a lot of mistakes and learning from those mistakes, and then now we're here.
Yes.
That's dope, though.
And to even touch on that as well, the night that he officially joined the team, I guess, what I seen in him was just like how visionary he was. Like he was kind of speaking over the organization, and that's what I really respected. He was saying, bro, I don't think you understand how big this could be. Like we could do this, we could do that, we could do this. He was like claiming all these partnerships we could one day like obtain. And like that's when I knew like I need this person by my side, like for real. Someone who can like speak over the organization, also visualize what the organization could be. When sometimes I doubt myself and doubt the organization's growth, he's always by my side telling me what we could do and what it could be. And I think that's what like really pushed me to not only add to my team, but also push me as a leader to lead the organization.
I love to hear you say that. By the way, that story is amazing. But I love to hear you say that because I feel like we have a very similar story.
Yeah.
So I can already see. So it's good to see, especially young black people in the community getting to this point. It sounds like y'all are very dedicated. You take a lot of time, effort, especially while still being full-time students, guys. They haven't graduated yet. They're still in the midst of everything, boots on the ground going through this. So with y'all being full-time students, how do you balance owning such a business like this, especially for a lot of people that might be in school, might be in high school, that might want to start something like this?
Yeah. To be transparent with you, I'm still figuring it out.
That's real.
I'm still figuring it out.
It's not butterfly rainbow. It's not. It's I would say like personally definitely like this is leaning on each other, talking to each other, and make sure like, because the main thing when you're leading an organization, a lot of things you're doing by yourself, like you're wearing many hats and doing many people's jobs and all that stuff. So like you're really just relying on each other and like make sure if you say you're gonna do something and you can't do it, let the other person know. Like it's communication. Communication is heavy also at school with the professors and the deans and all that. That's another thing, building good relationships with them. I would definitely say that's my biggest thing, getting through it. I'm able to just go to my professor and let them know, hey, I have to do this, or I was doing this. And him as well, you can speak on that, because that's another thing, missing these assignments and things like that. It cuts real close. So communication.
Yeah.
Communication.
heavy on the assignments, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I will miss an assignment like at 11:59, but I submitted it at 12:01. Like I'll get it in, but if a couple minutes late, but I'm gonna get it in.
But I did it.
I did. But yeah, so I'm still learning the balance between it because like we put in a lot of work together, like endless fundraising, endless calls with CEOs and board members and just our team as well.
Yes,
endless,
the team.
Yeah, the team as well, and like endless project creation, project management, endless like membership development as well, because we do have a membership organization. So it's our duty and our responsibility to make sure our members are actually being developed in our organization. So we got to do all that on top of going to classes. You know, waking up at 8 a.m. when I just had a call that you know, I gotta have a call at 9 a.m. But I have a class that goes from 8 a.m. to like 9:25, right? So what do I pick, my class or my business call that could potentially get us a sponsorship or a donation, you know? Mm-hmm. So having the decision to pick between one or the two is kind of difficult sometimes, but it goes back to the communication part. Communicate with your professors, communicate with your teammates, and let them know, hey, I'm not gonna be able to do this meeting, but I'm gonna fill you in and tell you everything you need to know so you can be prepared. Or going to the professor around and say, hey professor, I have this nonprofit and we really need this meeting for a potential donation or potential sponsorship. Can you work with me? And going to Morehouse, it helps a lot because Morehouse is a great institution that cultivates servant leaders. So if I tell them what I'm doing, which I've been supported by my professors in the past as of late. I hope that don't change.
Yeah, right. Don't jinx.
With this new semester,
for real.
Semester just started.
But of course, like if you think about the past semesters, I've been pretty supported by my professors. So just tell them I got this meeting going on, I got this organization going on. They're pretty understandable. So it all ties to communication, you know. Just put in that work and fit in what you can do, you know. And
another thing I feel like is also being able to just adjust. You have to be able to adjust. Like I'm trying to tell you, I've been like about to take a nap and I didn't know it. Hey James, I can't make this meeting or I need you to do this. I'm like, all right, what's the details right quick? And then you know you just get in the meeting and do what you gotta do. I feel like communication and being able to adjust and like change and be ready to go at all times. Like that's the biggest thing.
I would text him like 4 minutes before the meeting.
Oh my gosh.
No, like actually,
he said though. Let me see.
I would say, hey bro, hop on this meeting with me.
Yeah,
you're like random stuff. But like it's that adaptability and that flexibility as well. You know, like James said, another point as well about like wearing many hats. Being the leader of an organization, you have to know how to do everything, like literally everything. Because at first, since we're like a smaller scale organization, we don't really have the staffing or the capacity to have many staff and also pay them as well. So we need to be able to take on many responsibility and many roles as well. So so just being able to do everything and being flexible. When this person can't do this job, you're able to then tap in and do that responsibility for them. But heavy on the 4 minutes. Give you 4 minutes.
And then also being willing to learn, like also you have to be able to be willing to learn like the grants and all that stuff. Like he writes the grants, I don't do that. But like all that whole nine, like you're learning as you go. You don't really know all those things before you're going into it. So just being willing to learn as well. Yeah. A big thing.
That's fire. That is a crazy schedule to try to have. Like, so what do you wake up, go to school, meetings? Like, what does a day-to-day look like? Like, maybe even a busy day versus a non-busy day. Like, if you want to be a business owner, be prepared to hear this because, like you said, it's not as easy as you think it is.
Okay. A non-busy day is having one class. Right? And I go back home and go to sleep.
Right.
That's a non-busy day.
Sound like a dream.
And wake up, go to the cabin with the friends, go to that class, come back, go to sleep. That's a non-busy day. A busy day for me though will be, waking up at 8 a.m., having a meeting then and there, then having a class like I mentioned before at 9 a.m., and then going on from there to call a chapter member or chapter president and say, hey, what's going on with your chapter? How the process is going? We're doing that. And then after I get off the phone call with them, I gotta also then call another chapter that's in development. We're trying to expand to that school and figure out what's going on with their e-board and everything's okay. And then on top of that, I gotta also check in with my team and see, hey, what are we doing with this event? Are we moving forward with this? And then on top of that, I gotta also reach out to a potential board member to ask them to join the board, to support our expansion and whatnot. And then on top of that, I have to also go to class, And on top of that, I have to also apply for a job. Or internship. Apply for an internship or fellowship. So I got to slide a little bit of time in there to do an interview for that and sit down and do that. And then also when I finish that internship application, I have to then submit an essay, So then, on top of that, I also had to go to like to Lost Dogs or something, like hang out with hang out with
You still in college. You still have that
and
fun,
enjoy my college experience. So it's like I had to do all those things like one day, have all these meetings with different people, and on top of that, worry about the team, and on top of that, have a social life as well. So it's a lot of stuff, but I see it as a challenge. It makes me stronger, wiser, make my mind more agile. So I appreciate the hard work of it.
It was literally yesterday. Yesterday, I was like, I looked at my schedule because we're in the process of like, when you're doing programs and want to do events, you have to get sponsors and things like that. And it just so happened, I didn't even realize that I had chapter training on the same day, meeting on the same day, obviously class as well. And then also like, we have positions. He didn't even speak on the positions he has on campus and we have on campus. Those are another thing that come into it, and like getting involved with the campus involvement and things like that. Some things happen at night to where it just goes over into the AMs as well. So back to back things where you realize it's like, okay, I was about to lay down and take a nap, but at 4:10 I have a meeting or a training. Literally like yesterday I had a training with the Savannah State University chapter. We had a training and I was literally about to sit down, take me a little nap right quick, and I realized it was 3:20. And at 4:10 I had a meeting. I was like, okay, we had to train at 4:10. I can't go to sleep. So just going based off of that, but you get used to it, kinda. You just be tired, but it's not. If you love to do it, like you said, it's hard work. It's not hard.
It's definitely worth it. Yeah.
And
it's worth it.
I be forgetting that we have meetings sometimes. I would lay down and my Google would tell me, you have a meeting in 5 minutes. Like, whoa, what meeting? And then I have to be reminded. But yeah,
Heavy on the calendar though. Your phone definitely comes in clutch.
Absolutely. Definitely downloading Google Calendar and making sure you're on top of your stuff and being organized with your time, your scheduling helps a lot. Like tremendously helps a lot.
So like, with you guys' busy schedule, a lot of it seems like you guys are ripping and running, but I don't want to lose sight of what you guys do because it's all rooted in purpose. So like, somebody hearing this, like the one thing I keep thinking in my head, I was like, what could I do to help these guys? Like, what is that for you guys? Like, if it's a random person, how could they help? How could they support anything that you guys do?
Well, funny. Funny for sure. I feel like that's the biggest thing. With Funny, you're able to do so many things. I mean, even from speaking of the team wise, like if we're able to provide Funny and pay our members, pay our team members and things like that, we can
do a little bit
more. Do a little bit more, add a little more of a workload and not feel too bad when you're doing certain things, even though it is bigger than us. But I would definitely say Funny for sure, and also just giving us your resources and putting us out there. Following our Instagram page, reposting our things like that, and just being engaged with our social media. That's a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Heavy on the funding part because we're a nonprofit, so we don't really necessarily have a sustainable profit model system. So funding and donating is one of the main things as well, and also providing resources like you mentioned before. Like if you have a connection to a person who give out like venue spaces or whatever, like reach out to us, like let us know, like okay, we can connect with that person, and boom, they'll go a free venue space right there, and you have to pay $1,000 for it, So like just so in-kind donations as well, but also if people want to join our organization and like start a chapter as well, reaching out to us, following our Instagram page, and just being tapped in with us, because our ultimate goal is to provide opportunity, access, and community to Black youth. Because both of our stories, actually, I want you to also learn James' story as well. But both of our story somehow tied to either a lack of community, a lack of access, and a lack of opportunity. And I know what that feels like, and I believe that young Black leaders should have the opportunity to have the same equal access that most people have, in America. So that's our main driving factor. And for me personally, I wake up every day wanting to level the playing fields for young Black leaders. Like that's my main.
I love that.
My main goal. As long as they have the opportunity to be in the game, that's what matters the most to me. Like, okay, sure, when you get in the game, you could mess up, you cannot score, but as long as you have the chance to be off the bench and in the game, that's my driving factor.
You need to trademark that when you
So
his
license. But everybody watching this, that drink that you're gonna go get tonight, that dinner date that you got tomorrow, just cancel it and give it to Black. That you can miss out for that one dinner. They're building a legacy, and you want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of it.
And how do y'all accept, like, if there's donations or anything? Like, do y'all have like a PayPal, a Venmo, a Cash App?
It's all on the website.
Website. We'll have the website right here. Y'all click on that. Y'all don't need that drink. I know what you were gonna go do tonight. You don't need that.
Yeah,
Stop trying to go bowling with your friends. You didn't even buy your textbooks yet, so I know you. Don't even do that. You can pay right here.
But I definitely want to try to hear James' personal story and like what keeps him going with the organization. Because he has a more interesting story than I do actually.
Yeah.
Let's hear it, James.
So I guess we can go back to even what like intrigued me so much on what he was doing with the Black Youth Empowerment Network. My story is a little bit different in a way. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, but moved with my dad when I was like 8 years old around that time. And I moved a lot. I'll just say I moved a lot growing up, and then I ended up moving from South Carolina and things like that. I ended up coming back to Douglasville, and that area is predominantly white. You see a lot of different things, and I never was around that. I'm from Atlanta, then I went from South Carolina to North Carolina. There was a lot of moving and things like that, so I was always around the underdeveloped areas and the areas where my teacher would literally be telling me like, hey, growing up, I wanted to be a painter, like literally. I wanted to be a painter, that was my thing. I wanted to own a construction company and all that stuff, but growing up it was definitely different. I knew what Morehouse was, I didn't know what HBCU was though somehow. Like, I just was never around those people that would do it. So that was my thing, and then when I went to Douglasville and moved up in there, it was a whole thing growing up. My GPA was never the best and things like that. And never was even going to go to college or anything close to that. Like literally nothing close to it. I never really even cared about college. I was telling people like the people that know me from high school, they were literally gonna be like,
they surprised.
Yeah, like literally like what? Yeah, so yeah, I was planning on going to the Navy. Ended up getting arrested and things like that, and I got pushed back. My ship out there got pushed back to a later date, and I ended up meeting somebody that's very important in my life. His name is Edmund Jackson. He's also my brother. Well, he's my brother as well. And at the time, what was I doing? I was just trying to work. I was just working, just trying to figure out what I was gonna do, and while I was waiting on the military and all that stuff to get back at me. And he was like, just come on campus right quick. Come on Morehouse campus. He's alumnus and all that stuff. And he was just like, just see what you can do and meet the dean. I'm gonna give you a tour. We're gonna walk around. We're gonna talk, and see where that goes. So I ended up going. I met the dean, and I was just like, okay, I really do want to go here. Like, it's somewhere Morehouse College. Like, my mom literally just take me to the campus to eat at the caf and do the whole nine, and you just chill out sometimes. I literally have pictures in front of the sign too. Like, it's crazy. The pictures are really bad. Crazy. I look crazy with my siblings, but like, I was on Morehouse campus a lot growing up. So when I finally met the dean and all that stuff, he spoke to me. I was able to get into the college. Only had a 2.9 GPA at the time, so he really bet on me. He was like, hey, I'm gonna need you to, I can put my name on you, you have to show up. And I was able to do that. After my first semester, I had a 3.67 GPA.
Okay.
And still, my GPA is still really good. So, I was able to change my life around totally. Like, it's a whole flip around, like, completely. Before going from a nuclear engineer in the Navy, which wasn't too crazy.
That sounds pretty cool.
A little nice, on my ass and all that stuff. But, like, it still was just, somebody took a chance on me, and I was able to meet Jay Sean and meet all the people I know now and do the things I'm doing now, which is something I never thought I would be doing. So
and that's what we're all about, Like that opportunity alone changed us like tremendously. So that driving factor is what drives our organization. Both our fires inside of us. And like he said, he wanted to be a painter at first. Like no hate on the painters, because we do need painters.
Definitely.
But he went from wanting to be a painter to own his own construction company. Just like that mindset change is what really important. That we always try to instill in our members, and not only just our members, but in just the general Black population as well. Like giving them that inspiration to dream bigger. You can own this, and I believe ownership is one of the key things to liberation, true liberation. We own our own podcast, own our own nonprofits, own our own construction company, our own real estate company, our own investment banking. Then we can truly free our people from like the chains of bondage.
Yeah, and like. It's something I thought about when you were talking in the beginning, Deshaun, that James, you just brought back up for me when you were talking. It's kind of like the duality of the way things work. Because when you were talking about, you was like, oh, you went to school in a predominantly white school, and that's kind of what brought you to a purpose like what you have going on now. And my story is that I'm from an underdeveloped black neighborhood in New York, where I guess you could say.
I was in New York like a couple of days, so I think I'm a New York native now.
Yeah.
You definitely stamp. But being in New York, I guess you could say there's community because you see people that look like you see people who talk like you, who walk like you all day, every day, and those are the people that you're surrounded by, but you don't see them doing any of the things that you want to see them doing. You kind of see a lot of negativity in some of the areas. So you having that story in a predominantly white neighborhood and you saying you came from an underdeveloped neighborhood and you kind of still got the same purposes, it kind of shows the duality of your life, and it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a challenge, honestly, because at first I was in a predominantly black neighborhood, but then my mom moved me to a different school, and that balance and that loss of community really struck me a lot. So it's like I would trade anything to be around my black people, you know. But unfortunately, because it's a bunch of like racial segregation stuff going on, but it's because like this predominantly black area did not have the necessary resources that I was forced to move out to a predominantly white area where I lost my community, you know, all because I wanted better education. And that all just ties back into education equality as well. Like, why can't everybody have the same equal access to education? And people are being forced out and losing their community because they want to have the same education that our counterparts have. And I think that's another thing that our organization will be focusing on in the future as well, is education equality. You know, we want to try to push that forward and have the world know and the nation know that this isn't fair. You know, like I literally had to move different schools to get a better education. And all my peers, everybody I grew with, my homies, you know, deuces to them, I had to leave them, you know. And that's a similar story to so many people in the country, you know. And that's something that we really want to try to tackle with the organization and the platform we have. That's another thing. We identify things in our personal lives that are problems, and we don't sit on those problems or dwell on those problems. We use this platform that we built from the ground up to then go tackle those problems as well. So I'm very grateful for the organization too.
Yeah, and I would definitely say, like, from me growing up, one of the biggest things that I realized looking back is just being around and seeing people doing what you like thought couldn't be done. Honestly, like, obviously, like I do know my parents are construction company owners, and they work from the ground up, and they're in a way better position now than we were in when we were growing up. But the thing is, being around the HBCU and being around Morehouse and being around the alum, you see people that are presidents and CEOs like it's nothing. Like, you're just around them 24/7, and it literally empowers you. Like, it quite literally empowers you to be like, okay, if that person can do it, I can definitely do it. You know, that's somebody I can make a connection with, and they may know somebody that I know. And it keeps going from there. Connections, especially nonprofit connections, is a huge thing. Like, we've gotten so many things just off of connection or off of knowing somebody. So I would definitely say just being around and surrounding yourself with those people, that's the huge thing. That's what we want to do as well with our organization.
Go ahead.
I'm still getting adjusted to having these like normal chats with CEOs and presidents.
Yeah, it's true. I know I just said that. Actually talking to them
it's a big adjustment because like you're literally like talking to like the president of this foundation, and they're like so chill and so cool. It's like, what did I do to be in this shoe? Like these shoes, like I'm just a new nonprofit leader. Like, why are you like respecting me as if I've been running this thing along with you? So I think, and I think actually I recently just ran into imposter syndrome. I always thought it was like a myth before when people just mentioned it, like, oh, what is imposter syndrome? But like, I actually ran into it like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, dang, this is what it feels like? Like, kudos to y'all. Like this is crazy. And like, you actually feel like you don't belong. But like, I had to realize, and also like that's like what James said in the beginning, like lean in the community and lean on each other and talk to each other about these things because, you know, we do belong. We worked hard for this and we do deserve it. So, yeah.
Well deserved, 100% well deserved. Like, your story alone, even if you don't want to be a business owner, has to be inspiring. Like, there's no way it's not. But with y'all having such like just so boots on the ground in your community, right? Giving all these different scholarships and other opportunities, what have y'all benefited from this? Like, is there anything specific that y'all are looking to get out of this besides ownership?
Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah, I would say I've benefited a lot from this. I've been able to grow so much from how I used to be as a person. I always knew, and my mom has always told me, like, you know, you are like a really business savvy person, like you should really do it, but I never had the opportunity to really tap into that. and joining the Black Youth Power Network and Jay Sean, giving me the opportunity to do this, it's definitely helped me grow a lot in my leadership skills, connection wise. I've got some pretty strong mentors from this, and being able to talk to people and get on the phone with people and just hear advice from them. I would definitely say that's the biggest thing. Connections again is one of the biggest things for me personally.
Yeah, heavy on the growing part. Although this is a non-profit, it's still a business.
Yes.
And I feel like people forget that a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget it. Like, oh, you running a non-profit? What's that about? I run a for-profit. It's like, oh no, like there's still structure. There's still bills to pay. There's still check rollouts. There's still signatures that need to be signed. It's still a real business, So I had to learn a lot of things when it comes out to being a business person, and just learning different techniques, different skills, and also enhancing the skills I already had, like James said, and just growing as individuals. So BYEN has really given me the ability to speak to anybody, and just welcome to people and just network with them, and also just to also relate with them. Yeah, and also just relate to them, just relate to them, just being honest and transparent. So it's just something to be a better person as well, because this is you gotta be not selfish to run an organization like this, because you gotta put other first. You gotta always think of how you can make somebody's life better, and put their needs before yours sometimes, when it's healthy, of course. So yeah, definitely it's just something to be a better human being. And as far as other things, I know a lot. I do get a lot of recognition for the work we do. But also when I apply for opportunities where they see the amazing work we're doing, and they see the type of leaders we are to deliver and always execute, we do get opportunities a little bit more quicker, a little bit more faster, I guess. And I think that's another thing that really benefits us. People respect us a lot because of the work we do. And it's a nice street cred,
That was that is another thing. You
get street cred.
Things like that. It happens, but the work isn't easy. So
it's not easy.
It's not easy at all.
Yeah.
So hey,
it's well deserved. And one thing I do keep hearing y'all say is network, leader. Those things are super important. And I just want to put this out there because they've already touched on it a lot. Look at who you're hanging around. He spoke earlier how he had to cut a few people off. If you're in a room with 4 leaders, you'll be the 5th one. And I think this group is a very important reason why you need to be in those rooms with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
True.
I agree with that. There's this saying at Morehouse, your network is your network.
Yes.
And also there's another saying, but I sometimes disagree with it. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know.
Yeah.
I have a different saying. It's not about who you know, but it's who knows you. So
all right, we gonna trademark that too.
But you know that's crazy. We had a guest on here. I want to say about 3 episodes ago, and we kind of was talking over that same sentiment. And I was kind of because she had an opportunity on BET, and I said, "Well, that your network got this because who you know." She said, "Yeah." She said, "It's who you know." And do those people like you? And I was like, that's it. That's the
you know everybody, but they don't know the work you do and know that the type of work you are. The opportunities will never be provided.
Yes.
The great opportunities won't.
Yes, first impressions is another big thing that comes into that. That's a huge thing. Especially when you're messing with the elders and the people that's older than you, they take that serious. Especially being around the Morehouse community. And with the alum, they expect you to know things about Morehouse and how is it going? Is it the same way? And even with going back to when I was doing some reunion class things, and I was able to make some connections through there, I had to answer a couple questions before even speaking to anybody, even about who's the 13th president or who's the 12th. Those things, they want you to know those things, and it's okay. Going into that because you get the connections from it as well, and then they also look back and remember you from that, and that's where it comes from. Do they know you? And as well, so I like that a lot.
And you made a phenomenal point about there's 4 leaders in the room, you can be the 5th one. I think that's a really good point. I think your surroundings is definitely important. You will literally start picking up their language if you're around somebody forever, I went on a no profanity type streak, whatever, and I realized when I'm around people who don't curse or use profanity or use inappropriate language, I start not to use it, But when I get around those friends who do use their language, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. So just that alone, your language can change by being around a group of people. So imagine how deep it can go when your energy is changing, your spirit is changing, your mindset is changing. All that is possible when you change your group of friends. And also another thing that has also helped me as well is it's okay to have a small group of friends. There's another thing.
I was about to say.
There's another thing I really like is like 4 quarters are better than 100 pennies. You know, so it's okay to have a small group of friends who can keep you grounded, keep you solid, who are loyal, honest, and just true, and just gonna like always be with you by your side. Like that's worthless, like truly. So I think that, and also making sure that they're actually people who want to do something with their lives, you know, and push you to your very best, and y'all help each other out. Like James, I hope you're not gonna lead BYN, but when we move from like the official roles of leading BYN, we're gonna of course serve on the board together. But once he has a construction company, and I'm getting into investment, I'm gonna be pouring money into this real estate and his construction. You know, he's gonna be also building BYN headquarters. You know, so like just making sure we're pouring into each other and developing each other in every way we can as friends and as brothers, and also as human beings, because that's what it's all about.
I would also say like another thing about like me and Jay Sean and going into this, you again like he said earlier, you have to be a visionary. You have to be like just like what he just said. I'm gonna be building BYN. That's something that we are literally like actually seriously taking serious and working towards. Even this right here, being on the first podcast here, this is something that we talked about, and that's something that we were just speaking on. You know, so all these things we're working towards it and checking off the list and just gonna keep going from there. But being a visionary is a huge thing to go into, because especially from being denied grants and all those things, it's hard, and you just have to remind yourself what you're doing it for, and like the goal is bigger than you. You know, all this stuff is bigger than you. So yeah,
I love that. The visionary aspect, I feel like if you're gonna own anything in life, that has to be there. I mean, I remember when we first started talking about this, you know, and I'm sure y'all remember the nights when y'all were just in your dorm room probably playing video games talking about this, you know? So it's crazy that you say that, and you bring up a lot of great quotes that I hope people that are watching are writing down and taking in, because you were saying a lot of amazing things, and you're reminding me of a lot of great quotes and sayings as well. I just wanted to touch on how we actually had, I guess you could say, like a business owner we were both friends with. Yeah. And one thing he would always tell us is, show me your closest 5 friends and I can tell you your future. Wow. And the fact that you were talking about how y'all were just friends, just going to eat, then it started off, okay, let's start this off. Now it's, okay, I'm going to be an investor, you're going to, like, you know, start building, like, that is exactly what that saying means. Like, y'all being that close just opens so many different doors. So I hope people watching join this group, get into it, learn about the organization, and actually take advantage of this, because these are people that want to help, putting themselves before everybody else. So please take advantage of this. I love everything you're saying. Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
And I also want to touch on a little bit of what you guys said as well when it comes to the people that you have around you. Me, I'm someone who got arrested multiple times as a kid before the age of 18. Juvenile detention multiple times. I don't really talk about it because I'm not proud of it. Yeah. But I moved to Atlanta when I was 18, and one of the biggest things that I struggled with was my attachment to the people I grew up with. My attachment to my friends, and things that you say when you say, if you're not around people who don't curse, you don't curse. That's true. Like when I got down here, I was like, well, this person is doing drugs. Yeah. They might not be a bad person, but it's just not who I want to be around. Mm-hmm. Because I understand, like, at its core, everybody's impressionable people. Mm-hmm. So you kind of always are going to take things from the people around you, whether you subconsciously do it or consciously do it. Yeah. And so just being aware of that is super important. And then I run into somebody like a Kennedy I told Kennedy about my podcast one time at a bar for like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And she hounded me for like 2 months after that. Like, oh, we gotta do it. It's a great idea, we gotta do it. That's how it happens. So, like, just being aware of who you're around, like, that's super important. And I want to empower any young people. The people who you grow up with, they're just the people who you grow up with. Mm-hmm. You're not even at the age of development mentally to choose who you really want to be. Mm-hmm. So take your time. Don't be afraid to be different. And I wish that, like, going back, I wish I was more okay with being the outlier when I was younger. So what you guys say is amazing. I really.
And I want to hit on that as well. I went through a couple things dealing with like my friends back at home and like hearing a couple things and things like that. Because again, I was a totally different person back at home, like literally totally different person. But I would say be careful. I had to learn to like really be careful with it and just looking at what they're doing. You know, everybody's still doing their thing either way. I have to be honest with myself. The only reason why I'm where I'm at right now is because I went to Morehouse. Mm-hmm. You know, and the opportunities that I had. So even though my friend group back at home, they still doing their thing. They're doing amazing. They're going. Some of them are in college. Some of them playing basketball. Some of them just working. And either way, they're figuring it out. You know, some of them still doing drugs. You know, that don't make me no better than anybody. Not saying that I don't do it. You know, like that makes me no better than anybody else. So like, I had to like really realize like when they were coming at me and things like that or saying certain things, I was like, you know, that's just how it's gonna be for a little bit. But like just knowing like, hey, whatever I have, whatever opportunities I have, I'm still gonna be there for you and make sure they know that you know. But that's how I was with it. But it was definitely a learning experience. Like that little bridge crossing that and going through that. It was a little feeling, but
it's impressive that you're still talking to your high school friends because I have not spoken to not one person yet. And I thought people could joke when they say, "Oh, you never speak to somebody from high school again." Like I literally have not spoken to them. But I really appreciate what the role they played in molding me as a person.
And that too, yes.
Yeah, like even though they probably weren't either like the best of friend or a very great friend. And I don't speak to them anymore, but they still play such an instrumental part in my life that I really appreciate. And also, I want to touch on that networking part and meeting people who push you. I'm gonna do a shameless plug with BYEN real quick. But in BYEN, like you will really meet these type of people who will push you. Like you and me, probably even your potential lover, because we've had a couple people who have met somebody who they really like in BYEN. Did you just raise your hand? We've had a couple people at BYEN who have met people who, they found attractive and also like started a real relationship out there. We've had people who met each other and also started a business together. So like we've done a really, really good job at cultivating such a nice culture of people who are willing to point to one another, either that's romantically or platonically, or even starting a new business together. So a little shameless plug for BYEN.
And even speaking on us, he be on my case. I tell him one thing and he on it, like on it bad. Like, hey, did you do this? Did you do this? And vice versa. Like, just checking up on each other, make sure we're doing what we want to do. Because sometimes, like, even in those rooms, you come across somebody like with him doing investment thing. There's somebody like, oh my gosh, that's like the biggest venture capitalist out here. You gonna go say something to him? Yeah. You're not like, egging on like, go talk. And then and at some point I end up just, I'm like, hey, how you doing? My name is James. Just doing it for him sometimes. They do get nerve-wracking in those situations because it's like, whoa, I did not expect this person to see. Like, just even at the mayor's balls that we just at, both of us was just at for UNCF, I was able to see H.J. Russell's son, and that's somebody, and he now owns the H.J. Russell construction company. Like, that's a huge, like, they built the airports and all that. And I just had to, like, suck it up and just go ahead and just say what's up. Say something to him. And I was able to make a connection, do a little LinkedIn transaction, all that stuff. Did it go cold? Maybe. But at the end of the day, I still did it. And that's something that you have to get comfortable with doing. And that's what that's growth. That's literally growth right there. Yeah, getting comfortable with it.
And I feel like respect builds respect. At the end of the day, like, there's nothing wrong with being maybe slightly nervous or, just not knowing what to say, stumbling on your words, because to me that just shows you care. You know what I mean? If you didn't care, you walk up any type of way or maybe not say anything. Yeah, so if anything, respect builds respect, 100%. I think the fact that y'all are even willing to push each other and still knowing how it feels to be the one pushed, that's amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
I like challenging him.
It gets like that. It really do. Because those opportunities, it's like one in a lifetime when you see those certain people that you like, you could have just been talking about them last week. And then you just see them at this event, it's like, okay, we got it. Like, you gotta just do it. You gotta do it. Even if you're stuttering on your words, just
make it happen.
Get the mission complete, get that link in, get that number, whatever you gotta do. So
and our success rate is pretty high, so I think
exactly. I'm not bad at it. Getting used to it.
Yeah. And one of the biggest things I love about what you guys do is something that I'm big on is the work that you do is beyond yourselves. Like the work that you do is kind of like reaching a hand back to where you came from. It's kind of giving people a hope, giving people chances, opportunities that we don't typically have. So I can go one by one, but Jay Sean, if you look back into that person that's in 10th grade, who's like you, who's in a situation where they might not be comfortable, they might feel like the outlier, what message do you have for them that will give them the courage to keep going with whatever they have, that idea? Like, what's that thing that you had in your head that got you through it? And you do the same, James.
Ooh. I hate questions like this. I would just say, just do whatever you want to do. Whatever you're envisioning, whatever you're dreaming, whatever you want to accomplish, just do it. Like seriously, just do it. And if it's for you, it'll be for you. If it's not, it's not for you. and being okay with the fact that it's not for you. I actually left the part out. I don't bring it up often, but I was really, really hell-bent on going to Morehouse College. Like, very, very hell-bent on it. Because in ninth grade, my GPA wasn't that great, like I mentioned before. I failed ninth grade. And when I got to the new school, my GPA history followed me, of course. I did horribly in ninth grade, so it was like a lot to bring it back up. But it wasn't enough at the end of the senior year for me to be applying to like Princeton or Harvard or UGA or whatever, right? So Morehouse was, in a sense, my only option, you know. And also Morehouse views students by their character and their servicehood rather than numbers, you know. And I really respected that in Morehouse. So I put all my eggs in one basket. I applied to only Morehouse. I connected with the alums, connected with the people who were currently attending the institution, and I got deferred, right? And I was heartbroken. I was like, how could you turn your back on me, Morehouse? Mm-hmm. I was just so pissed. So I had Morehouse posters on my wall. No. I remember crying and everything. Like, how could you do Morehouse? And
That's funny.
but that was so funny. It was funny. But I was so upset, and that's when I kind of like I had to remind myself that keep going. You know, if it's for you, it'll be for you. But just give it your all. Like literally give it your all. And if it doesn't work, if you give it your all, then it's not for you. And God is not gonna make it happen. You know, like it's not for you. So I was like, okay, Jashawn, you really want this Morehouse thing, don't you? So I said, okay, cool, I'm gonna keep working for it. I reached out to the administrators, to the admissions office, wrote letters and stuff, just kept putting in that work, kept attending Morehouse College, kept showing them who I was as a person. And then I ended up getting into Morehouse. And then after that, I had to then afford Morehouse, because Morehouse is a pretty expensive school.
Yo.
So I
pause this and look that up real quick.
Yeah, look
it up real quick. I need y'all to know what he's talking about.
It's an understatement. Yeah, so I had to afford Morehouse College. That was another thing that really unmotivated me, right? And my mom was also pretty unmotivated because she didn't want me to be living this falsehood, you know, this fantasy of me attending this institution when we can't afford it. So that's me again telling myself, just do it. You want it, do it, bro. Do it. If it's not for you, you'll find out. So that's when I found out about the Honor Scholars Program. And then I applied for that. I reached out to the alums of the program, people currently attending the program coordinators and stuff, just to get more information, just to also show them I'm very committed. That's another part as well. When you're seeking these opportunities, you need to do your research, you know. Learn about these organizations, learn about the people who is in the organization, how these organizations have impacted them as well. And that's what I did with the Honor Scholars Program. And then when it was time to apply for it, I applied for it, I think 2 hours after it closed. 2 hours before it closed.
You cutting it close,
I know. I'm a biggest procrastinator. I work better under pressure. I'm a diamond. So after that, I had applied for it, heard back. I got deferred from the scholarship application. I did not get selected. I called, I think, the scholarship coordinator. He told me, oh yeah, you wasn't selected. You're alternate number 2, I believe. Alternate number 2. I was like, dang, number 2? So even if somebody did drop the scholarship, it wouldn't even go to me first. It would go to somebody else. So I told my mom, gave her the bad news. I was in class when I found this out. Gave her the bad news, and then she was like, "It's okay, it's okay. We're gonna call somebody. It's not over. It's not over." So my mom called my cousin, and my cousin called her friends, and they all got on the group call and started praying about the situation. You know, praying about I get the scholarship, just praying, like really going to war for me in the spiritual world. So I'm on the way to work, and I'm playing like Yolanda Adams. It's called like the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. I'm playing this song, right?
You needed that.
I'm like,
He real theatrical.
I'm like, yeah, the battle's not mine, it's the Lord. I got this. Come on, I'm option number 2.
Yeah.
So then I get to work. I get an email that I got accepted to the scholarship.
Okay.
A 4-hour scholarship. I was like, dang, what did they pray about? So and then it's funny because
speaking tongues.
I need a script.
Right, I need that prayer. So then on the way back from work, I'll listen to "Victory" by Yolanda Adams. You know, and she was like a song like claiming victory. Like, I got the victory because of Jesus. You know, He died for me, all that good stuff. And it's like on the way to work, I'll listen to a sad song by her, and on the way back from work, I'll listen to a song claiming victory. So it was like a very symbolic moment for me, but it's just all about putting that work and just doing it. So my message would be to my the 10th grade version of myself, or anybody who wants to start something at a young age, just do it. And when you do it, put everything that you have inside of you into that thing you want to do. Like everything. blood, sweat, and tears. Like literally blood, sweat, and tears. I was in New York. And it was really cool. I was crying, and I made a joke. And I made a joke like, "This is
oh
tears.
yeah, he said blood, sweat,
blood, sweat, and tears. These are tears I'm talking about." So
Yeah,
like, just
I
put
feel
blood, sweat, and tears, and don't be afraid to do it. You know,
That's
that's what makes people. That's the 1%. You know, that's how you become a legend by doing things people are afraid to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm trying to remember myself in 10th grade. 10th grade.
If not 10th grade, what's something you would tell to somebody in 10th grade?
Yeah, honestly, now I remember now. I feel like from my point of view and like what I went through and like somebody that went through the things I went through, the biggest thing, kind of what he was just saying, like, you gotta just go do it. All, cause I know for a fact, Black youth, we all have amazing ideas. We made so many things, created so many things.
Yes. Like that whole movement.
We are inventors, right?
Yeah,
The whole,
rights
right,
movement,
yeah. Like we are inventors. We've always done it. And one of the biggest things is somebody turning the idea away, telling you that it's stupid, telling you that it's crazy, woo. Just do it. Like literally, I'm at Morehouse right now. Like I'm on no scholarship. I'm pulling out my loans, but I'm still doing it because I know that eventually, everything's gonna be paid for eventually. So I would never say just do it. You know, whatever. If you want to start you want to start streaming, you want to start. It don't have to be college. Like whatever you want to do, go and literally go and do it immediately because that's the biggest thing. If you just gonna keep going day by day and doing the same thing, you're just gonna be you're gonna be where you at, literally.
And it will get hard. It will get definitely hard, but that's when the community comes in.
Yeah.
And if you don't have community, lean on Jesus.
Literally.
He will take.
That's somebody that's always
He gonna be there.
He gonna
always
be there.
like I'm trying to tell you, boy, always will be there. So it's
Always
just,
be there.
and then also I want to speak on this though. Our moms,
Yeah.
boy, like
Yeah.
for real, they.
Shout out to my dudes.
Shout out to my
All
dudes.
four, right? Shout out.
For real, shout out,
Shout
cause
out.
like literally like they make it out of like a way out of nowhere. I've been through we've all been through some situations, even literally this weekend, like situations, and it's still happening. And one thing they do is always figure it out.
Always figure it
Shout
out.
out to
Even
them.
from getting into college, like my mom, she's an immigrant, and the thing with when it comes to the fast food and all that stuff, she figured it out and was still able to fill that out for me and get me through all the things, and also like even my dad as well, my stepdad as well. Hold on, my fault. My stepdad as well. Yeah, hold on, they you watching this. My stepdad as well. Yeah,
you two step back.
Yeah, he's great. You know, they always like really make it like out of like literally no way. I don't even know. I really like seriously did not think I was getting to Morehouse, but we here, so and it's been up since then, so it's good.
I love to
Amen
hear
to
that.
that. Amen.
I feel like you can't go wrong with that. But we do this thing at the end of all our episodes, right? And we gotta have y'all do it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, of course, I'll start it off.
Okay.
From both of you, what is the best part about being involved with an organization like this that people might not even think about or realize? We judge all answers when we ask this question.
Okay. I think one of the best things about being an organization that is filled with ambitious, young, talented Black leaders is you're able to let your hair down. Like you don't have to put up a facade. You don't have to speak up in a certain way. You don't have to act a certain way to be accepted. Because they understand that outside of this organization, we have to have that mask on. We have to straighten our hair. We have to put this tie on. You know, but within the organization, you can just be you. You can just be a young Black person. You can talk about Kendrick Lamar versus Drake.
Yes.
You know, like
Our leadership team
I think that's another thing as well about BYEN.
So
I call it the BYEN magic, but it's like truly how we're able to be such a family-centered organization, but still get the work done and be incredibly professional, you know. But we're still chilling. Like our meetings would, like the formal meeting would go from an hour, but the meeting would go from like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah,
Just chatting, just talking and strategizing, just visualizing, and just being, you know, young Black leaders. So I think that's one of the things that people may not recognize, but like just being able to let your hair down, and you know, like that burden that society puts on young Black leaders is lifted off of you, for sure.
Can I get a question one more time?
Yeah, so go ahead, man. So just what is the best part about being like, you know, being
that was
part
the
of
best
this?
answer right there.
That
was the answer. Like that was the best answer. But
Well,
Second best.
if you don't have an answer, we have a second part to the question for you.
No. He
Yes. I tried to say it.
I would have to say literally in this like specific field of what we're doing and focusing on Black youth and things like that, it is the impact. Seeing the impact on these youth, like, it's amazing to see. Like, literally, it's amazing to see. Even from one of the things that we're gonna be starting up, I don't even know if we should.
What is it? Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, one of the things that we're gonna be bringing up is like one of the new programs we're gonna be doing is an internship thing, and we're already kind of working with one of them and things like that, and just seeing the excitement from that person was like, wow, like we're about to actually. Once that program gets started up, it's gonna be impact after impact after impact, and people getting this experience and getting this real world experience from just high school and saying they're able to do something on the national level. That's amazing. And so yeah, definitely impact. Cause I'm thinking everything I do, I always think about like where I was at their age and like where I was at during that time and from 6 to 8 years old and all that stuff. And if I had something like this and somebody like myself in my life at that time, a lot of things could have been different, you know. So like just thinking about that, it really is like I really even hate to even think about it because it's just I know
I never thought about it like that.
It's like I hate to think about that honestly because it could be I could be in a different place and I like where I'm at right now, but like I just know if I had somebody like myself, the impact would be there. Yeah. So I would say that.
Some real change makers right there.
That's super dope. And like referring to impact, like that's the most valuable thing in the world because the only thing you can take when you go is your legacy. So
absolutely,
that's the only thing.
That's the only thing. I don't get you caught up in the cars, the outfits, the clothes, when it's all said and done.
What did you do when you were here? What do you remember?
Exactly. What's the legacy that you leave? And even you talking about letting your hair down. A while ago, I was deep into like the restaurant world, and I used to open up restaurants across the country. And one of the things I used to do is I used to wear my Nike Tech sweatsuit. With Jordans on, my dreads down, and I used to go into fine dining restaurants, nice restaurants, and I used to go in there by myself, and they'll all be looking like, yo, what is this kid doing here? He's 21, like the server used to ask me like, who are you? Like what, like what's going on here? I'm like, I'm just here to eat. I'm just here to eat, and I would tip really nicely. I would behave myself the whole time, and I would leave that restaurant, and I'd just be like, hopefully the next Black kid that comes in here has a bit of a better experience because of that. And I was just doing it on purpose. It was just like a tease at that point. I was like, I want more people to be able to let their hair down. That's super dope that you touched on it. But the second part to our question that we always ask is, what's the most difficult part? Like, what's the thing that brings the most challenges with the things that you do? Like, if there was a part of it that seemed to, I don't want to say you want to delete everything because all the struggles are good, but what's the thing that's hardest to cope with within the entire process?
Get personal.
I'm thinking I was really about to say it's definitely mentality. It's a mental thing. Like it's really a mental thing. It's not hard to email somebody one time, but once they get to the 100, like 100, that's a big jump. You know, like it's easy to ChatGPT is real. ChatGPT is real. You can email somebody once, boom. Yeah. But once you have somebody that you email multiple people 100 times, and then maybe a couple respond back, and then once you think you got that meeting, then it's like, oh, it went cold on you and things like that, and you're really working towards something that's like, hey, that sponsorship really could have, impacted a couple people's lives. I would say the mental thing, that's the biggest thing. The cold emails and just keep going, like driving the organization. That's one of the biggest parts, and it's a lot of hard things. But I would say once it comes to the mental thing of just like, okay, like is this even something that people are believing in? Like who's there to believe in us to even push us and put us in those rooms? That's a big thing. Like when it comes to it, and those people that do believe in us and all that, it always is like another step.
Yeah, it pays off.
It pays off.
We're good investors.
Right.
Y'all listen.
Big investors. Like even from the AM just scheduling emails, like that's something that really happens, and he's been doing it even before I met him. So like.
Yeah, by myself.
That, like, right. So, by himself, right? So, it's like...
James is such a blessing from God, like, seriously. Because when I was doing this stuff by myself, like, God knew that I don't know how much longer I could go by myself. And I always told him, like, I must have did something right in life for you to be in my life, Like, I made the right decision. I didn't park in the handicap spot for one. And God was like, yeah, you did good today, so I'm going to give you James, And it's like, James has been such a blessing because he, really, lifted off a burden to me, for real. I'm sorry I interrupted you, by the way.
No, you're good. But yeah, I was saying, like, the mental thing, like, being able to be there, because that's why I was saying, like, with him doing it by himself, and not having anybody to necessarily, like, go back. And I know he has some friends and things like that, but somebody that also can be like, yeah, I was just doing the email too. I didn't get a response. That's something that that's a big thing right there. That's a huge one, the mental thing.
The hardest part for me is definitely, I had like this fear of rejection, like really badly for some odd reason. Rejection. I was actually, this is an exclusive right here. I was actually about to put the fries in the bag like 2 months ago. I applied for 3 grants, 3 phenomenal grants. I got rejected for all 3.
And we swore we was gonna like.
I swore I was gonna get it. I emailed
the
people who was in charge of it. I was like following up. I did the work, and we had like an incredible application. And I got rejected. The first one, it got sent like at 2 p.m. Second got sent at 5 p.m. Third one got sent like 8 p.m. Like, dang, 3 in one day. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time to put the fries in the bag. Maybe maybe this organization should just be gone. Stop. But actually Bryson, this is when Bryson comes in.
Yeah,
Bryson, he really motivated me and like encouraged me to like keep going. That's another part about having friends in your circle who are on the same level of mindset, like believing the same things you believe in, because they'll push you to your very best. But I'm working towards that rejection thing. But like off the top of my head, rejection is one of those things that like it's really hard for me to accept because we put in the work, like a lot of work, and it's disheartening. It's discouraging when we get rejected from certain things that we, in a sense, deserve. So yeah, but I wanted to touch on that legacy part as well. Me and James came to an understanding that we want this organization to like last after us, So that's why we started to expand it with chapters as well. And our chapters have allowed us to sustain the organization in such a phenomenal way that we're giving opportunities to people, by the way, to lead these chapters, to start these chapters. There's another part of what we try to do is provide these leadership opportunities. And these chapters are basically doing the local impactful work on the ground at their institutions. And we're giving them the framework, we're giving them the resources, we're giving them our connects so they're able to make these changes on their campuses. And in the next 5 years, we should have over 100 chapters, And that legacy of BYN is still going on. Whereas me and James are now serving on the board, there's a new executive director who's leading the organization, and we're supporting them in every capacity we can. And then when we're long dead and gone, the legacy of BYN existing and providing access and opportunity and community to Black youth will still be here for us. So the legacy part is really, really big for both of us.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's super dope. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you can't be mad at those answers, even with talking about the worst parts. Yeah. There's obviously still light at the tunnel. 3 things I just want to say, because they definitely dropped some gems. For sure, make sure you network. That is all one thing. Make sure you work on that. Also, one thing they definitely touched on that I hope y'all actually notice is that they work this like a 9 to 5. Yeah. And they work school like a 9 to 5. Hey, y'all, I definitely want to say just tap on everything they have going on. Please, we'll put the link right here. Donate to them when you have a chance. You don't need that drink tonight. You don't need any more clothes. That $5 I would have went to them, go to them. So I definitely appreciate y'all coming on. Again, it's your host, Kennedy.
It's your boy Ace.
And today we just went beyond that bag. We'll see y'all in the next one.